And welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live, 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 and it is day number 13 of 29 Days of Love with yours truly, Dr. Sabrina, the Success Broker. Tonight, as we start at midnight, let me say to every one of you, Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. Thank you for coming over to the site. I know many of you are with your significant others all booed up tonight, and I want you to enjoy yourself. I know many of you will be watching this on the repost, the rebroadcast, and so I just want to go right in because I've been excited about this today. I want to talk about getting naked. Getting naked. And of course, when we hear the word naked, we think taking all your clothes off. And of course, with your loved one, with your significant other, with your husband or your wife, your spouse, it's quite okay to get naked, physically naked with your mate. But I want to look at nakedness from a whole nother perspective, because some of the things that naked means is to bear all, to not have a covering, to be revealed. And so when we talk about our love relationships with that one who is our most intimate partner, we should get naked. And when I say get naked, I mean become vulnerable. And in becoming vulnerable, that means we become blunt. We become bold in saying what we feel and being honest with what we feel. We also become candid. Hey, Janice Dogan, I see you. Thank you for joining. We are talking about getting naked with your significant other. And when I say naked, I don't mean just derobe and get physically naked. I mean get naked and raw and real in your communication. Get raw and real and be vulnerable and honest with how you feel and what you're thinking. And so that requires you to become bold. That requires you to become candid. That requires you to be clear. Sometimes we're not even clear about what we want and what we need, and we can't communicate it. So in order to give it, you got to know it. You have to evaluate yourself and say, I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm thinking some kind of thing. And then we need to share that, because oftentimes we think, especially when we've been with someone for so long, we say things like, ooh, if you don't know me by now, you will never, ever, ever, ever know me. But that is not the case. People absolutely need to hear from you what you think, why you think it, and let's not make assumptions that they get it, even though they've been with you, even though they know you. The number one way to let someone know what you feel, what you think, what you need, what you want, is to tell them. And you have to be honest and open. And oftentimes the thing that stops us from getting naked in our love relationships is fear. Fear about what the other person may think, fear of the repercussion of what you're saying. I'm going to share my own little story here. We have to be able to share what our fears are. And all of us have them. We all have them. So in order to be transparent, in order to be open, in order to be vulnerable, there's some things that you must do. The first is that you need to really dive into and understand what is the real reason why you avoid being open and honest with your mate. Why do you avoid telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Some of the reasons that we may come that way is from the examples that we have been given. I remember my mother used to go shopping and buy a bunch of stuff and hide it, and then slowly but surely bring it in the house. I just kept feeling like, if that's your life partner, why I got to hide from you what I'm doing? If we're partners, if you're partners, you shouldn't be hiding. But sometimes we hide because that's the behavior that we saw, and we think that that's just what you do in relationships. But you don't have to hide. You don't have to. This person should be right next to God. After God is your mate. So that's the person that you should be able to be naked with. So you need to determine what you're fearful about, why you're avoiding being completely open and honest about any topic, and see where it comes from. Dive into that. The second is that you need to assure yourself that it's going to be okay if you just come clean. Just say what you feel and say what you mean and mean what you say. I was talking to a friend of mine who I have been dating, and I felt like we never see each other. We talk, we text, but we never see each other, and we stay in the same city. So I felt like, well, you don't really want to spend no time with me. And so I never said that, though. I just would be nice on the telephone, nice in my text, but really was feeling like this ain't working for me. So finally I had to say, this ain't working for me. And be confident in my feelings, and that I honor my feelings, because when I love me, I am a better able to love someone else and be open and available for that. The third thing that we need to do is that we need to talk to the other person. We need to share with the other person what's going on, what our fears are, why we're feeling some kind of way, and just don't keep it to ourselves. I know when I got divorced, I was really fearful that someone would leave me again. And so every day I would come home from work, and I was married to my second husband, but I had this fear every day coming home when I drove down the street. Hey, lovely Lisa, welcome, welcome, welcome. I would drive down the street, and when I got to the corner of my street, I would begin to have almost an anxiety attack. I would feel very anxious. And so I absolutely, give me some hearts, give me some hearts, give me some hearts. But I absolutely had to say that every day, that before I saw my husband's car in the driveway, I would feel anxious. But as soon as I saw the car, I would calm down and feel okay. And so that went on for weeks, if not months. And so finally, I just had to come to him and say, look, I'm feeling some kind of way every day when I come home. I'm worried that you're going to leave me because that I was left before. That was my issue. But I had to talk to him about it. I had to get naked with him about it. I had to become vulnerable with him to take that feeling away. So once I had the conversation with him, and he said to me, look, boo, I ain't going nowhere until you put me away. I am not going anywhere. I'm sorry that your screen is freezing. I don't know what's going on with Periscope tonight. I guess maybe a lot of people are on. But I had to become naked. Naked and being honest with how I was feeling, what my fears were, what I was keeping to myself, what I was feeling shameful about. I had to do that. So you have to talk to the other person about what's really going on with you, because you can't heal from a thing until you're real about that thing. So first you got to get real with yourself, and then be honest with your mate, because that helps you to grow closer. That helps to bind that connection tighter when you're open and honest. And be ready for them to be open and honest with you. So you can't expect something if you're not willing to give it. So you can't go off on somebody because they say something you don't like, or they have an opinion that you don't like, or, you have to listen first. We have to listen. That's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. We got to listen more than we talk. Listen and listen for understanding. And then the last is that you have to reinforce open behavior, open communication, honesty. If you're feeling some kind of way, say it. And I remember my ex-husband, he used to say to me, I don't know why you just won't tell me. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to hit you. It's not like somebody going to walk up and hit you. So just become naked. Become naked with the person that you're closest to. Become naked and vulnerable in your love relationships. That's what makes it stronger. That's what makes it better. So be ready to reveal the real you. Be ready to honestly dive into and examine where that fear is coming from, where that avoidance is coming from. Is it an example that you've had? If it's an experience that you really haven't healed from, you haven't forgiven, really dive in so you can walk through and skip through these days as happy and as whole and as joy-filled as possible. And you can do that when you get naked. Get naked. And so for Valentine's Day, get naked. I will be back here with you tomorrow night, and I promise I'm going to try to do 11. I was out again tonight. I've been having me a good old time. I will actually be on the radio in the morning on 9:10 a.m. at 11 with Karen Dumas. So if you're in the area, you can tune in and listen. We're going to be talking about life relationships, all the relationships that we have in our life. Woo! That's going to be a talk show. I will be right back here with you tomorrow, beloved. You have a wonderful, blessed, empowered, spirit-filled Valentine's Love Day. Love you.